So let's get to the main ingredient, man. We're getting ready to get into it, and we're getting ready to talk about Tony's top 10 Heisman running backs of all time. They are called GOATs. So let's kind of get into, because we talked about this last week, and I went ahead and said, look, I want Tony to make the list up. I think Tony would put together a list that it makes sense, because we all three can relate that we've seen all of these running backs play, at the level that we've seen them play at. I mean, even all the way to the top 10. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and read off the running back, and then I'm going to have Tony break down why he arrived at it and how he arrived at it, and then we'll have a discussion in between then. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
All righty. So let's name off this first one. And this first player is going to be, and I'm moving myself up to this list because I'm trying to do 3 or 4 things at once. I'm trying to chew gum and walk at the same time, which I'm doing. So let's get started with this first one. The number 1 is Barry Sanders in 1988. Oklahoma State. I mean, just dynamic running back. One of the best I've ever seen play the game. I mean, especially with his skill set, with the way he ran and the way he could stop on a dime and go, and he can change directions on a dime.
Yeah.
Tony, how did you arrive at Barry Sanders being number 1?
Well, I remember him playing that season, and just how he just blew me away. Just performance after performance. Let's start off with an 11-game regular season where he rushed for 2,628 yards. That is sick, guys.
Yeah.
37 rushing touchdowns and 2 special teams touchdowns. 5 consecutive 200-yard games and 3 games with at least 300 yards.
That is crazy.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah. And in the Holiday Bowl, I remember watching that game.
I watched the Holiday Bowl as well with him in that game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they blew away Wyoming that game. I think they scored like over 60 points. But anyway, he rushed for 222 yards and 5 touchdowns. He averaged 239 yards per game. That is just mind-blowing, guys. Yeah. To me, it was just like a no-brainer. Barry. Yeah.
Okay, so right now, you're looking at his numbers. He had 2,628 rushing yards, 37 TDs, averaging nearly 239 yards per game. Now, let me repeat that. He averaged 239 yards on the ground per game. Isn't that amazing that a running back can do that game after game after game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma State was in the Big 8 back then. It's not the Big 12 like it is now. It was the Big 8. So they were going up against Texas and teams like that back in the Big 8. And Nebraska and all of those type of teams. Because Nebraska and Oklahoma, all of those were Big 8 teams back then.
Yeah.
Those Texas teams, all of them, A&M. And, because if you look at the SEC now, they just added on Texas and Texas A&M. And I can't think of the other team right now that's a part of the SEC that came from the Big 8, or should I say the Big 12. But that's just phenomenal that he was able to do that. And then he went on to the NFL, and he lit it up in the NFL even more so, right? When he got to Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Wilson try to tackle him and blow his knee out, man. It was just crazy the way he could stop on a dime and the way he ran with his eyes, man. holes that he ran through that looked like it wasn't a hole. Then he would see a linebacker coming to clock him. He would just turn his body a certain kind of wiggle way and didn't even get hit.
Or he'd completely spin around, right? He just do a 360 spin, and guys would just be flying past him. It's like, you know, it was like the Keystone Cops of some of these games. You would see these players setting up to try to get a really good shot on him, and they just couldn't do it because he would stop on a dime and go. Or he would just spin and go. Or he would juke and go. I never seen him get solidly tackled by anyone in the NFL when I was watching, you know, even at Oklahoma State as well, you know. So here's another one. Let's look at this second one that we have here. And that is Marcus Allen, 1981, Southern California. Tony, what stuck out to you about Marcus Allen?
Over 2,300 yards rushing.
Impressive, absolutely.
5 consecutive 200-yard games. 8 in total. He was so special, so elusive and smooth. And you know, he was just something special, and in the NFL as well. Marcus was
special. He was elusive. I mean, he was the type of back that he ran a little bit different than Barry Sanders in style, but he still had so many dynamics to the way he would touch the football.
From Barry.
Yeah.
His style was totally different than Barry's, man. Barry, the way Barry ran, and getting back to him, Barry ran like he played snatch rag or flag football because he didn't want you to touch him.
That's a good point.
You to put your hands on him.
That's a very good point.
He don't want you to touch him. He want to run the ball and get his yards, and he don't want you to touch him because he'll juke the hell out of you. And with Marcus was a fast running back, but would change directions fast. If he was running a sweep and that thing got clogged up, he's going to totally change direction and break down the other sideline and be gone. And I've seen him do that time and time and time again. Yeah.
And a great receiver out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he was a good quarterback, too. I've seen him throw quite a few touchdowns.
Yeah, you know, he's from the San Diego area, and I believe he did play quarterback in high school, I want to say.
Yeah. He is from the San Diego area.
Because you know Damon Allen was his brother. He had a brother named Damon Allen, and Damon Allen, if I'm not mistaken, also played quarterback at UNLV. I'll have to spot check that as well, follow up with that. Okay. But definitely. So let's move on to number 3, and let's talk a little bit about Bo Jackson. Bo knows, but Bo Diddley say he didn't know, because Bo Diddley says, Bo, you don't know diddly. How did you arrive at Bo Jackson, Tony?
Just to me, hands down, the greatest overall athlete I have ever seen. Baseball,
football, track.
He really, and track and field. Yes, I mean he really brought it. He went 100%, and he's just so, aside from being so talented, he's just so focused and determined to succeed. And boy, was he was special too, man. I mean, Bo, come on, man. Bo Jackson. Yeah,
and he had an NFL career that was cut short due to hip injury. And that was a sad state.
The Bengals. Yeah.
I saw that play myself against the Bengals, and that ended his career.
And yes, it was like a shoestring tackle almost that brought him down, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he couldn't play baseball. He couldn't do anything after that. I mean, he just had to retire and become a regular civilian, actually. So
Remember when he played for the Kansas City Royals?
yes,
Yeah. I used to see one
he
break
caught
those
this-
baseball bats.
Yeah, remember over his head?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him walk up a wall, an outfield wall. I saw him jump completely in.
Well,
All
just
like,
gonna say.
Yeah, he walked the outfield wall, and I'll give you an analogy of a comparison. We used to go to the Dade County Youth Fair back in the day when I lived in Miami. Isaiah and his family and my family went, and they used to have this guy who used to ride this motorcycle around in a circle. In a little circle, he would ride a motorcycle around in a circle. That reminds me of how Bo ran up that wall and grabbed that ball out of the sky. It really does.
That was really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's move on to number 4, and let's talk a little bit about Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams, 1998 class, University of Texas, UT. How did you arrive at Ricky Williams being number 4?
Rick, over 2,300 yards in the season.
Okay.
And his running style. I always loved his running style. I was glad when the Dolphins picked him up. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I wish he could have stayed longer, but love Ricky. Always have. Always love Ricky, and I select these players a lot because how much they've impressed me throughout the years, and not so much the statistics, but still 2,300.
That's where I look at it too.
That was
Tony. I look at it just the way you just mentioned it. You know, one thing I thought was kind of off base with Ricky, even though Ricky was enormously talented, was the fact that they interviewed him one day and they asked him about who was his idol. And then you thinking that he's going to say Sweetness or he's going to say Earl Campbell because he went to Texas as well. Guess who his idol was, guys?
Who?
Bob Marley.
Was his idol. He want to blow out a ball of Bob Marley split, man. Yes.
He's quite a business now, though, selling cannabis.
He's in the cannabis business. Yes.
Yes, and doing quite well, I understand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Ricky, I'm saddened that he walked away, but I think he walked away for his own good in terms of his self-preservation. I went to a game on a Sunday night when Miami played the Buffalo Bills in Hard Rock at the time. And Ricky, it was just, they gave the ball to Ricky every freaking down. I mean, they very rarely threw it.
Dave Wannstedt
and it was Dave Wannstedt.
Yeah.
And it was Ricky Williams right, Ricky Williams left.
Banging with Ricky.
Just banging with Ricky. And I mean, you take a punishment, you take a brutal punishment as a running back when you're being run that many times. I mean, they just don't last. Even though Ricky was in tip-top condition and tip-top shape.
Abusive, man. That's abusive. You run a guy that many times. Yeah.
So let's go to number 5 and let's talk a little bit about, if I can get my screen up here, Tony Dorsett, 1976, University of Pittsburgh. How did you come up with Tony Dorsett?
I remember that season. He dominated that season. 2,100 yards, I think it was 2,150. And the national title in the Sugar Bowl.
Right. Remember that.
He was just so impressive. Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is? His senior year, Heisman year at Pitt in 76, the 76 season, they win the national title in the Sugar Bowl. His rookie season with the Cowboys, they won the Super Bowl at the Sugar Bowl.
Right.
Yeah, against the Denver
He's the only one
Broncos,
done
right?
that.
They
Yeah,
won against
yeah.
Denver.
Mhm.
Against the Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
imagine
I remember that.
That's a high that you don't want to get off of.
You
You win
can't.
a national championship and then turn around and win the Super Bowl. That's crazy.
In the same, you know,
Yeah, right
stadium.
behind each other.
right
Yeah.
behind each other.
Yeah. Uh huh.
How blessed
Yeah.
could he be, right?
Lucky, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of the Cowboys now, with his time with the Cowboys, I remember that. I'll always remember that was a Monday night game. I was stayed up late, and he runs 99 yards
Against Minnesota.
I think it was.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He ran out of gas, and when he was on his final leg to try to get to the end zone, I think he got a little bit gassed running that far.
Yeah.
But when he made that break and was out in the open, you knew he was going to do it. But like you said, he almost ran out of gas, but he made it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
had one play that they show on highlights where he was running down the field with half of his freaking shoulder out. His shoulder pads was out.
Mhm.
You know, he was.
I remember that.
walking down the
Yes, I
sideline.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to say when they were playing the Washington Redskins back then, they were called the Washington Commanders now. I think Darryl Green tracked him down one time too.
Green called him.
Yeah, Darryl Green went and got him.
Go.
Yeah, I remember that.
Green went and got him. Go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now he was the player selected after Dan Marino, the 28th overall pick in '83.
I remember that
Marino
draft.
was the 27th overall pick. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a great
Man, that
memory,
Darryl was
Tony. You are
fast.
awesomely. Your memory is just spot on top of things, man.
Like I tell my friends, it's all useless trivia.
So let's move on to number 6. Earl Campbell, 1977, one of the most bruising backs I've ever seen run. For him to be as short as he was, but he was just, his legs were like 2 tree trunks when he ran. And how did you find Earl Campbell at number 6?
Yeah, I've always I was actually debating between 5 and 6, but then I had to give it to Tony. Love Earl, always loved Earl. Loved his brutal running style, that reckless abandon, just doing whatever he had to do, run over whoever he had to run over.
He had a field
I
day.
remember
with the Dolphins.
he used to hold.
You remember
the
that
ball
Monday night
with that
game
one
against the
hand.
Dolphins?
Yeah. He
Oh,
just,
yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, Bum Phillips kept pitching it to him. They pitched it to him the whole game, and he wore the
he
Dolphins
ran up
defense
guys'
down.
chest, man. He wasn't doing that, the Henry stiff arm stuff. He would run.
No, he
up
was
your
running
chest.
directly over people.
Yeah, he'll run right into you, man.
Yeah.
He was like a ram. You ever see a ram stick his head down there and defend himself? He would ram his head right into you.
Great description there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he ran over Los Angeles Rams at the time. I want to say his name is Isaiah
I don't
Robertson.
remember.
Robinson, I believe.
I think you're right.
He's
Yeah.
up his engine, but she ran the chest.
Yeah. And he just ran. He blew him back a few yards and knocked him on his can. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he stumbled and twisted, and then he fell right in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the highlights of his NFL career at the time.
That shows you how powerful Earl Campbell was to be able to take that hit like that and lose your balance and just spring yourself forward
Right.
about 4 or 5 yards into the end zone because he couldn't take another step because he was off balance, but he just sprung himself forward to dive into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of highlight reels, by the way.
And he was equally as deadly when he was at Texas as well. I didn't see him play at Texas, but he was a human wrecking ball when he was at Texas as well.
DCV would just hike the ball and pitch it to him and just let him go.
And just let him go. Yeah. And if you're defense, you're just trying to angle it where you can get to his legs to try to get him on the ground or around his ankles. Is if you didn't want to get a concussion trying to tackle him up high. That's what would have happened.
You would have got one, man.
You would have took one.
One thing though, the Pittsburgh Steelers wore him out, man. That steel curtain, they used to just clog those.
Oh, Jack Lambert was all over him too, man. Jack Lambert on the Steelers.
Joe Green and those guys, man, they was keying on him, man. It made me feel sorry to see him get hit like that, converged on him, because they knew who was getting the ball. They just waiting for him to Terry Bradshaw to hand it to him. It was just, I mean, just Terry Bradshaw would get over there, they'll get the ball back for the defense, and then the defense would key on Earl Campbell, man. Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this, and either one of you guys can answer this question about Earl Campbell. I know when Bum Phillips was the coach, O.A. Bum Phillips was the coach of the Houston Oilers at the time. Do you think they ran Earl a lot like Dave Wannstedt was running Ricky? Was it some comparisons there where they just gave it to him every play, right?
Yeah, man. So. And that's the only offense had. Their offense was not diverse. I mean, they didn't have no diverse offense. They just had a student body left, a student body right. Banging with Ricky and banging with Earl Campbell. That's all they had.
Well, they had Dan Pastorini, and they had 00 Ken Burrow back then, right? I mean, Ken Burrow was a decent receiver.
Yeah. And Mel Renfro, I think.
And Mel Renfro.
Well, Earl Campbell was the one that set it all up, though.
True.
They had to set it up.
Yeah.
For Earl Campbell.
Right.
Absolutely. So let's move on to this next one. Let's talk about number 7, Reggie Bush. 2005, Southern California, San Diego boy. He came out of San Diego as well.
Yeah.
Tony, how did you get to Reggie Bush?
That season to me is unforgettable, except for that game against Texas. That was a Rose Bowl, I think, right?
Yes.
They lost.
Yes, they lost to Texas and Vince Young. Vince Young had a record day on.
Yeah.
Vince took that
saw
game upon his own shoulders.
Yeah. I watched every USC game that season, and I was just so impressed. I remember telling my friends, I said, he looks a lot, his running style reminds me a lot of Gale Sayers. And I just thought he was just going to light it up in the NFL. He didn't quite do that, but his collegiate career was special. He really was very talented. And I thought he would, he fit the bill for 7.
Okay. All righty, let's move on to number 8, and his name is Mr. Billy Sims, running back from the University of Oklahoma, wishbone running back with J.C. Watts and Thomas Lott pitching him the ball. How did you get to Billy Sims?
I saw him in the Orange Bowl
against Florida State, right?
In the late 70s.
We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time. That's one of my most memorable games, man, as a kid. Yep.
Yeah. I remember going also to the photo day where they had the players out there just taking pictures, and the public was invited to attend. And I was a young kid. I was in high school. I was like all stoked out. I was like, oh,
right.
Look at this guy. Yeah. But Billy just had a certain style about him, and just the memories that I have of him as a player. And he actually won that Heisman his junior season, if I'm not mistaken. And Charles White won it his senior season. When Billy Sims was a senior, Charles White at USC won the Heisman. But yeah, he won it as a junior, and he just impressed me. Just a lot of memories of Billy Sims. I liked his running style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that offense that Oklahoma had back then with that wishbone style offense that they had was deadly, man.
Man, I want to tell you,
It
Barry
was like,
had them guys clocking back.
yes. I
They
mean,
were
you
so
had
smooth. They were so
smooth.
Nobody had. I mean, nobody knew how to just read it and stop it, man. Until later on, it took them probably 10 years for them guys to masterfully stop the wishbone, because it was a really superior way of running an offense, where you always had this big brutal a fullback. You dive through the hole, and the guy got to get hit before you pull it out. If you pull it out and then you go around and then pitch it over, oh man, it used to be so smooth. J.C. Watts ran that thing like a genius, man.
He ran it down to a science.
Yep.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
He did. And Thomas Lott did too, because I can't leave Thomas Lott out.
And Thomas Lott did too.
Thomas Lott ran it down to a science as well.
What put an end to the wishbone, I think, was that defense of the 80s.
Oh,
They
figured out
they stuffed that defense. I mean, they stuffed that offense.
Yeah.
Was it Turner Gill?
And little by little,
Well, I think it was Jamal Holloway who played for Charles Thompson as well.
Yeah, Jamal Holliday.
And they just Miami's defense basically they just was not going to give them any lanes to run in, and no matter how he would put it into a dive,
you need a lane for that thing to run.
You do.
You gotta have a lane for it to work.
Mm-hmm. And I think Bernard Tiger Clark, he had a record day that night against Oklahoma. You remember Tiger Clark? Because I think the middle linebacker got hurt, and Bernard Clark ended up subbing for this guy. I forgot which linebacker got hurt, but
I forget too. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I think it was the linebacker was rumored to have been involved with steroids or something like that.
Could have been.
Am I mistaken?
That was Brian Bosworth at Oklahoma, who was rumored to have steroids.
No. I'm talking about for Miami. Yeah, when Tiger Clark filled in for the injured, I forget his name now, but I thought he had some involvement with steroids. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
He had a record game. I tell you, he was making tackles left and right because Oklahoma just couldn't get anything going on that Miami defense. They were getting so much penetration that night. There was no lanes to run in, and the penetration was just into Oklahoma's backfield. So if you can't block them and keep them from out the backfield, you're going to have problems, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you get penetration in there and you stopping that the flow of that run on the wishbone, you can't allow penetration because the quarterback can't perform his magic.
Yeah, I think earlier you had mentioned Isaiah Turner Gill, but Nebraska ran a very similar offense with Mike Rozier and all those guys. It was a veer offense. That's true. Mm-hmm. And Turner Gill ran it better than anybody I've ever seen.
Oh, man, he was super smooth, DC, man. God almighty, he was smooth with that thing.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next, and let's talk a little bit about Herschel Walker, University of Georgia, 1982, helped them win a national championship, but then again, they went back and they lost one. So how did you arrive at Herschel Walker at number 9?
Yeah, I couldn't leave him out. I really could not leave him out. Like I said, you could place him really wherever you want. I just wanted him in that top 10. He had to be in that list. memories again. You know, watching
Herschel
him
was one of the
play
best
and,
I've ever
you know,
seen,
the
man.
impact.
I mean, Tony, you talking about
Yeah, right.
this guy had all of this enormous speed and he was big. It was like unheard of to see a guy that big run that fast, man. I mean, he didn't have that elusive type run. He had like a stiff type run, but he was fast, man. If you freaking let him get in the open, you're not catching him. And then he ran track
Right.
at University of Georgia.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? One thing I used to love about Herschel, and I read that stuff in Sports Illustrated, you know, when I was, you know, a kid, and I kind of idolized him. He used to do 500 push-ups a night before he went to bed. And DC,
That's right, I
what
remember
he would
that.
do is he never used to lift weights because he said weights make him tight. So he did a lot of calisthenics and he did like aerobics and all this type of stuff, a lot of stretching,
Ballet, whatever you want to call it.
ballet, because he almost looked like a twinkle toad doing it, man. But he would do these upside down push-ups. He would have his feet up toward the ceiling and he would do upside down push-ups, and then he did the diamond push-ups on the floor with your hands, and that's how he said his chest was so big because of the diamond push-ups. But then when you do the ones with the diamond and you bring your hands apart, it makes your triceps and bicep shows that definition of those. So they had different type of exercises in that Sports Illustrated. Had several pages of the exercises that Herschel Walker used to do when he was in college. Yeah,
absolutely. Tony, I was interested in finding out who did Bernard Clark, Tiger Clark, sub for. It was George Meyer Jr. He failed a drug test before the national championship game, according to this.
That
George Meyer Jr. is very known because his father, George Meyer Sr., used to play for the Miami Dolphins, I believe, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. And George Meyer Jr. actually was working for the fire department because he was one of the first responders to arrive at Sean Taylor's residence when he was shot. They had to airlift him over to Miami Jackson Ryder Trauma Center. I remember those times as well.
Right.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That took place on the Southwest coast, right? Naples or Fort Myers or something like that.
No, it happened in Miami. The fools who killed him lived over there.
They were from the Fort Myers area. They drove from Fort Myers to Miami. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I see. Okay.
They were going to rob his house, and they didn't know he was home. He was injured, so he wasn't away with the team. Otherwise, he would have been away with the team. And he just happened to be there, and they came in his house, and he got shot, and that was unfortunate. And, you know, his daughter plays volleyball at North Carolina right now. So.
Yes.
So let's finish out with this top 10 list, and let's talk a little bit about number 10, O.J. Simpson, Orenthal James Simpson. How did you arrive at O.J. Simpson?
I mean, he was, you know, he was very talented, you know, and watching him play again when he's at USC, I was still young. When he won the Heisman, I was 6 years old. But I've watched a lot of film of him his senior year, and he was very impressive. And then of course with Buffalo, I mean,
oh yeah, he lit it up when he got to Buffalo as well.
Just his running style and
and he was super quick and he was super fast too at that time. During his time, he had a lot of cutback speed. I noticed, you know, and
he could change direction just, you know, on a dime, and he was very fluid in his running style, and he had the long strides. I remember those very long strides when he ran. Yeah,
absolutely. So Isaiah, you mentioned that you had a list, or you wanted to ask Tony some questions about his list, or so.
Well, I love his list, man. We got quite a few of the same folks on there. I don't have mine in order. I don't listen to any stats or none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My list just consists of I'll go over it, but I don't want to chime in on any of their accolades and how much yards they had on there, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I missed the boat on some people if I did that, because I'm just looking at the ones that I watched play and the ones who went to pro. Some of them didn't even pan out. Some of them got injured once they got to play professional.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give you my list now. DC, you know how I love this guy, man. Number one, and this is not as talented as they are. Number one was Ron Dane.
Okay.
Okay. Number two was Mike Rozier.
Okay, Mike Rozier.
Three
All right.
was Herschel Walker.
All right.
And then Orenthal James Simpson was number 4.
There you go.
And then Marcus Allen, Earl Campbell, Tony Dorsett, Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders at number 9, and number 10, Derrick Henry.
Very similar list to me, though. I mean, both lists are just as
very close, right?
I mean, very, very close. Yeah, to me, in a lot of ways, because a lot of the same names were mentioned on your list. It was on Tony's list. Right?
I didn't even compare stats at all.
Correct.
I think the only ones that's not like Tony's is Mike Rozier and Ron Dane. Everybody else is the same, not in order that he has his, but that's about the size of it. And that goes to show you that we think alike when it comes to the talent of these running backs. Yep.
Well, Tony knows football, and Tony knows his history about football, and that's what's most impressive to me.
And he's got Bush on there, Reggie Bush. He's got Bush on there. I didn't have Bush on mine. Bush didn't make my list.
Yeah. That's all right.
You know who I thought and I thought I messed up on? Did Emmitt Smith win the Heisman Trophy?
I'm not sure about that. Let me check. I don't think he did. No.
He did not. Because he got injured. I think he got injured. I think he got knee injuries, and he didn't. I don't think he won the national championship.
Yeah, a guy who I almost put him on the list was George Rogers.
You know, I was going to ask you about George Rogers, Tony, because I
almost put him on there too.
Yeah,
and I also almost put Marcus Dupree on there, Tony. Remember Marcus Dupree?
Okay,
from Mississippi?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he had the Jerry Curl juice in there, and he was a big running back like Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson. Yeah,
remember him well.
Yeah, 2 great lists. Tony, your list is solid as a rock. I don't have any. I mean, from 1 to 10, I'm lined right up with you with these players, and same with you, Isaiah. But I thought you put together a solid list, and we appreciate you taking the time out, because I know it took some thought. You had to put extra thought, and then you had to do your homework, which was the research to find out their yards and all of that other good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
We enjoyed having you on.
Oh, we enjoyed having you on, man. I told you everything was going to be good tonight, because you know your sports, you know your football, and I'm gonna get together with you. I'm gonna come down to Oceanside, so I'll be looking forward to that in the next several months, and we'll go ahead and put something together and talk a little bit more about football in person.
Sounds like a plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, gentlemen.
All righty.
Pleasure.
Absolutely.
Again, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
God
We're
bless.
glad to have you aboard, and you take care. Have a good rest of your weekend. Take it easy.
Take care, Tony.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you.